So, this one's gonna be about something I actually don't know. It's gonna be about certain different things. It's definitely going to be incorporating Reddit questions and maybe even some Quora questions if there are some nice questions there. But there's definitely going to be some questions and some things to go through. But as always, more after the intro. As always, as every day, as I'm doing it every day. I actually have to be a little bit more conscious about how I'm just using my phone, because it's actually been the second time just before that something popped out or something, I don't actually know, and it was not working any longer, and my PC wasn't using it any longer, therefore I have to be a little bit conscious about that. But yeah, as I said before, before I actually go through what I wanted to say right now, if you want to actually listen to this episode, if you just are here on YouTube and you're watching this episode and you kind of feel like, who is actually watching this 30-minute video? Nobody. But you can be listening to it, which is kind of the best part about it. You can just go down into the description, check out the link to the podcast and listen to it as a podcast, as some sort of an audiobook. If you don't know what a podcast is, it's basically like radio, radio in better quality and radio in just better. Which might be way more efficient for you and which also might be just way more effective for you, because some people like to learn through just listening to things, some people like to watch things and whatsoever, so we all are different. I do just have to sit there, everything is fine. We all are different, we all are different, and that's good, that's fine. And that's amazing. But yeah, as you can see now on the left side, here are some Reddit questions, and here are as well some Reddit questions. And I've already had a look at them to see and to figure out if there is something to go through, if there is something interesting to go through. I guess, yeah, something extraordinary, probably not, but yeah. The first question is, which is or was posted 13 hours ago and has already 272 upvotes. How to people? The funny thing is, I've loudly read the question before as well, and I've did the fucking same mistake. How to teach people how to treat you. I would say, in brackets there is gain respect from others. Maybe there's something else to the question. Yeah, there is quite a bunch to the question, but the thing is, I don't know. But I heavily believe in just being a nice person. I heavily believe in that. The thing is, will people take advantage of that? Probably. The thing is, they are going to try to do that. They are going to try to take advantage of you just because you're such a nice person, and you're just such a good person. The thing is, this is not having anything to do with just being a good person anymore. If you actually notice that some people are taking advantage of you, you should definitely change something up. Obviously, some sort of obviously, but things that might be obvious for me definitely don't have to be obvious for you. Therefore, I'm pointing it out. I don't know. I always believe in being a nice person, and I always believe in just being a good person as well, and treating others with respect as well. I do not want to necessarily say that you should be treating people like you want to be treated, because I believe that this is complete bullshit, just because we are all individuals. This is kind of the second usage here. I'm actually quite dark, am I? Somehow, I kind of feel like we all are individuals, and just because I like to be hugged doesn't mean that you also like to be hugged. Therefore, I'm not gonna hug you if I know that you don't want to be hugged. But if I kind of feel like, okay, I do want to treat people like I want to be treated, then I'm going to hug everyone. But not everyone likes that. Therefore, it's complete bullshit. This is some of these sayings that is just in culture and it is in people and everyone is thinking about that. The same shit as quality over quantity, which is also complete bullshit, really drives me crazy sometimes, really honestly. It's something that really is not true. It's just not true, and I don't like these things that are just not true. I don't know. So I would say just treat them in an appropriate way. And the thing is, if you kind of are a mean person, whatnot, you can't just expect that they are going to respect you. Even though respect is just such a fucked up thing, because I can definitely also imagine that some people are going to respect you more because you are a mean motherfucker. This could also be the case. I'm just imagining it. But yeah, I believe in being a good person. I believe in doing the right thing, and I believe in just treating the other people also with respect. But yeah, I would actually have to read the whole thing, to understand the whole kind of material of this question, I guess. But because this is obviously related to something or connected to something very specific. But I'm not gonna do that, I guess. I'm just willing to go through the headlines because I'm a headline reader. I actually am. When I'm listening and or watching and or reading the news, I'm headline reading, because unless it's a newspaper, when it's a newspaper, then I'm also gonna read the shit, and also unless it is something that I'm obviously interested in, then I'm also gonna read this. But when I'm on Google News, just going through my just news feed, I most often just read the headlines, unless it actually is something that's interesting, and but that makes sense, I guess. It's something that people can. Oh, cool. The second question. For people who study, work part-time, and gym at the same time, how do you do that? The funny thing is, this is actually a question that was asked yesterday as well. So for people who work 60 plus hours and go to gym, how do you do it? This was the question that I've also been featuring yesterday, which is relatively funny. But the thing is, you're studying and you're having a part-time job and you go to the gym and whatsoever. I think the thing is, you're not studying all day long, and of course, this is something that is about time management. The thing is, if you actually want to do all those three things, if this is something like a must for you, because you don't have to be in a gym every day, this is not something that you have to do, and you don't even have to be in the gym, just saying. But you need money, and you probably also need to study, you could also just kind of cross out of the whole equation. You could also be doing that. I don't know if this is a good thing to do. I don't know if taking the gym out of the equation is also a good thing to do. Not quite sure. The thing is, first of all, ask yourself, do you really have to do all those things that you think you have to do? And if they really matter to you, then of course do them. I really don't want to talk you out of doing things, doing things that are important to you. But you're definitely capable of doing that, because we are wasting quite a lot of time during the day. I've also been wasting quite a lot of time today by watching YouTube videos besides learning. I'm learning something and then I feel it sucks. I do just want to watch a quick YouTube video. And then I'm watching a quick YouTube video. And then I'm learning again. And then it just repeats itself and whatnot. So we're actually wasting really, 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 really a lot of time just during our day. And it is something to be conscious about. On the other hand, you should also not just be burning out. This is also not really something that I'm willing to suggest. But the thing is, just get up earlier, and you're gonna have a little bit more time. Just sleep quicker, as as Arnold Schwarzenegger would actually say now. Just do more, I guess, do more of these things that are not mattering, which might be watching Netflix, which might be watching YouTube, which might be going shopping for no fucking reason. There might be so many different things that are not really mattering to the whole equation, unless it is actually your kind of escapism, because we all need escapism. We all need some sort of way to calm down, to get down, to actually refresh our brain actively, because we are all doing it passively by sleeping, of course, but I feel at least this is my opinion right now, I feel that we all have to do that actively as well, at least something that I'm trying to do, For some people it might actually also be working, which is their kind of treatment for stress and or maybe even anxiety and those shitty things. The next question. The third one. I need advice. I'm not matching his energy, he says. And it is something that really just got my eye, because I thought what the fuck? What the fuck is he talking about? And I'm gonna read this one just because I'm interested in it. And it might also be helping you. I'm not gonna be okay, it is only something that I'm interested in. No, maybe this is also something that you like to hear. Therefore, I'm gonna see. So I have been talking to my current partner, male 24, for a while, and at first everything is going great. We have spent numerous amounts of time together, we constantly go out, and I expressed to him how much he meant to me in person recently. He told me he wanted to take things slow, and I have been. He works constantly, so although we see each other when he is off, I constantly make an effort to check on him during the day to see how his day went. Just recently he told me he felt like I wasn't affectionate enough because it doesn't translate in how I text him. If I say I miss you, he says it is dull then. I miss you. Wait. If I say I miss you, just imagine you're texting I'm very sorry, by the way. Imagine somebody, and you're texting this person, you're texting to this person, and you're saying I miss you. Nothing else. And he says it is dull. Then I miss you with a little heart emoji in the end. I told him that it is so trivial because I express how much I like him in person and it shouldn't matter what I text, but my actions don't follow it. Yet he says he just would like to match his energy. Is he thinking too much into this because I feel like if I'm expressing and showing you affection in a person, why should this matter? I'm very sorry that I've misread kind of the whole fucking part. The problem, what I'm saying there is that it is all about using a heart emoji and or not, or the thing is, I guess it is just only an excuse, some sort of, it is only an excuse for him to make it a little bit slower, I guess. What I'm just seeing there is that maybe he's a little bit overwhelmed with what she is doing. And I kind of feel like that this is just a way of him to, I do not want to say get rid of her because it just really sounds to be tough, I have to say. But it is, but you know what I mean. Like, it is just a way to just gain a little bit more distance by saying, okay, please just text in this way, not that way, and just, is it nitpicking? Is this the phrase, the kind of way you say that in English? I'm not quite sure. Really not quite sure. But I guess it's actually about that. It's actually a thing about getting more distance, making more distance, and or just being more on distance with her. Is what I think. It is what I believe. The next question: how to heal from fear of abandonment? This is like fear of being alone, isn't it? She will be charged with child abandonment, desertion. What? I'm gonna read what he and or she has to say. Anyone have any advice on how to deal from a fear of abandonment? I feel like this fear is stopping me from being my happiest and healthiest self, and it is limiting my relationships with people. Any tips welcome. The first answer is something that I could sign. Really, therapy for sure. I would supplement that with lots of reading and journaling. Maybe talk to others that have gone through it and overcame it. There is a book called The Journey from Abandonment to Healing that is a good start. Best luck. Thank you. Read the book Love What Is. Changed my life. Love What Is or Loving What It Is. I couldn't find the former when I searched for it. And then there is no reply. Unfortunately. In one sentence, focus on yourself first, only then on others. I actually wanted to say, it's a really cliche thing, and he and or she also says, but one sentence cliches never really changed my mind. Yeah, and other things. I'm actually interested in what other people said to the whole energy thing. I would say he's thinking into it a bit much, but maybe that is his love language, known as words of information. This is talked about in the book The 5 Love Languages, if you are interested. I have gone through a summary of that, and have I liked it? I guess, yeah, I'm not quite sure. It's like I've not been gone through just a lot of relationship books. Not just because I'm only having good relationships, definitely not. But I kind of feel like, well, I do not want to go through them. Maybe this could also be based on a fear of just noticing that I'm doing everything wrong. Could also be the case. I don't know. But I guess not, actually. Words of affirmation, it's affirming someone, uplifting them with your blah, 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 blah. Do his messages reflect his energy? I'm curious to know if his words match his own actions. I think you are over-committing support. You are giving GF support to mixed messages. Is he ready for a relationship? Be really honest. It is only your time you are burning. He gets best of both worlds. That's not good for both, yeah. Also what I've been thinking about. And there's actually a lot of other answers there and other comments there. So if you're actually having a problem, if you're actually thinking about a problem, it might actually be a pretty good thing to do. Actually upvoting all of them, because I wanted people to just see all of them. Also this one. It's actually not sorted by, I should be sorting it by new, I guess. There's actually so many questions, and I thought there's always the exact same one and whatever. But it is not the case, It is really not the case, because I was on hot, those questions that are thought about maybe. This is a good question and a good statement. I stutter when I'm nervous. I'm doing that as well. I'm not just knowing it when I'm having to present something. Then I'm also stuttering in the first few seconds and minutes and whatever, which is something that just happens to me. I'm almost always nervous. Maybe I need more self-confidence. Any suggestions? I'm almost always nervous. There has to be a reason why this person is nervous. just out of thin air. I don't really think that it is out of thin air. But I don't know. It is something. It's always just a problem when I haven't been reading about something and or I haven't experienced it myself. Like, of course, I'm stuttering as well when I'm nervous, but I'm not always nervous. Therefore, I can also just feel with it. Maybe actually meditating could help. The last time I've actually been thinking and talking like, okay, I hope that I'm not forgetting to answer this question, whatnot. I've actually forgot to answer it. I've actually forgotten to answer it, which is something that pissed me off a little bit. But yeah, it is what it is. How to unstuck. I'm stuck since a year, and the problem is no matter how much I try, I can't get out of the rut I am in. And I also try to leave it as it is, but still no improvement. I meditate daily, okay, sometimes I skip it. I also tried stream of consciousness journaling. The things I've written today are not different from the things in my journal months ago. I'm so unmotivated. While I've learned many things in my career 2 years ago, I'm complaints with yes, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I can somehow feel with this particular person because I'm also stuck. Not really. The thing is, I'm putting really a lot of ambition into the podcast and into everything that I'm doing. Am I seeing the same return on the investment? Not really. Am I still keeping to do that? For sure. The thing is, unstucking yourself, I think just most often I gotta have to say it just takes some time and we gotta have to be patient, even though it is not a really pleasant answer, and it's definitely not an answer that people want to hear and people want to have, but I guess it is just what it is, that you have to be patient and that you have to work a lot and you have to do a lot, and it is just what the variable is, and it is not reading and it is not waiting and it is not whatever, it's just being patient, but being patient doesn't mean that you're passive. And being patient also doesn't mean that you're not doing shit. Patient means that you're just knowing that it's probably going to take some time, but you're still active and you're still trying to do some things and you're still trying to go forward, but you're not just laying around all day long waiting to just letting everything be a little bit better or way better. The next question, I guess. No longer destruction, time to start rebuilding. Is it actually one of these motivational posts? I've been wondering why I keep returning to old habits for a long time. I've tried most of the advice found here, and I've tried NoFap to combat my porn addiction, and I've tried meditating to adjust my brain. But in the end, my self-destruction habits returned. It was easy to hold out a few days, just when, let's say, day 4 comes around, that's when you feel like giving up. Today the problem has finally been identified. My goals were not in line with my actions. My actions constantly asked of me to do better, while my mind focused on one thing: destruction. Ever since I've been a child, I looked up to villains. Anything that has the capability to destroy. Me and my brother rave about such things till this day. So naturally, the more I grew in this environment, I myself would begin to feel the same as those villains. A constant needs to destroy things to see one thing ends to make place for another. It was an irrational philosophy with F looking back. More of an insane one if I think twice. Anyway, less boring you with me of the past, time for you to meet the new improved me. The me who would like society to prosper, to see others happy and share his experience or their experience. I'll be sharing some of my past lessons in a post tomorrow. Have a fine, swell day, reader. By the way, check out Bill Wood's music. You will love it. Sounds great. I'm gonna upvote this one. Sounds really great. And I know, the thing is, I'm upvoting everything because I know that some people are really liking that, and it would actually make the day for some people if I am some insignificant person is actually and then I'm actually getting significant, which is the funny thing. I'm just liking and or upvoting this particular post, or is it I still don't know the whole kind of phrasing things that are going on Reddit, whether it is a Reddit, whether it is just a stream, whether it is, I don't know, and I don't also really care. But the thing is, for some people it might mean just quite a lot if I'm upvoting it. And me upvoting it might just really create a chain of upvotings, which might lead to a lot of advice and a lot of help. And this is also just what is good, what is really great. But yeah, maybe we actually also have a look at the news, since I'm also seeing the tab being open right here. AirPods Pro available for in-store pickup. Apple's new AirPods Pro are super comfortable and the noise cancellation is awesome. as CNBC says. Better luck next time, Samsung. Samsung Galaxy Home Mini photos show off speaker in detail. Google Assistant receives Sirius XM integration. Sirius XM is coming to Google Assistant with 3 months of free Sirius XM. I don't know what Sirius XM is, by the way, but yeah. Apple just killed Google's killer phone feature, Pixel 4 review. Biggest reason no one cares about Google Pixel phones. It's about probably doing or making photos in the dark, which is something that the Pixel phones really did well. You know, in the last generation, the Pixel 3 really did it quite well, I have to say, you know. But let's actually see. I hope it's not a YouTube video just because I've seen a YouTube link. Google's new Pixel 4 blends into the crowd of iPhone wannabes. The iPhone 11's night camera steals Google's photography crown. And I want to see some examples. Google's Pixel gets unorthodox zoom from AI cameras. Google's night sight mode continues to be an impressive technical achievement, allowing the Pixel 4 to shoot low light scenes with composure and very little image noise. It's actually insane. You know, there's really no noise, and this is only done by software, basically. It's great. Google created a camera zoom function that relies more on artificial intelligence than optical hardware. It works well and is a technical fear, but it's not going to make the difference in stores. Google also introduced live transcription of calls and new face unlocking feature or function with the Pixel 4, but those are nice extras rather than compelling reasons to own the latest device. In good lighting, the Pixel 4 continues a legacy of really sharp and contrasty photos with excellent dynamic range. It's actually pretty nice photos, especially the right one. They really look great and really sharp, like they're really, really, really sharp. As far as I can see it, you know, and as far as I can tell as well. In a year when Apple is enjoying better than expected iPhone demand thanks to its new sweetener of longer battery life and better cameras, Google has failed to make any comparable improvements. The company that, well, this is not a really good thing to say. Like they have been positively talking about Google in the fucking post all along, and now it's all about, okay, Google is shit or what? I don't understand that. But I think I also don't have to. And I also have to say I haven't read the whole one. Listen to the article. It is something that I'm seeing more and more often, you know, that you can actually listen to articles, which is amazing, you know, because we're so time efficient and so time aware that we only want to listen to things, which is also one of the reasons why podcasting is great. You know, because it is really efficient. You know, when you are in a car, when you're doing something, you can listen to a podcast. You know, maybe you just should start your own podcast as well. You know, because it's really easy. Using Anchor, for example, it's so easy. Like, it really is easy. You know, the only tough thing is to stick to it. You know, tough thing to stick to it, even though you're not seeing any fucking results, as it is for me, for example. Sony is shutting down PlayStation Vue live TV service. PS4 becomes second best-selling console of all time. Yeah, I think, is the PS3 just on the first place? It would actually be interesting for me, whatever. Let's see. Nothing. Thanks, that's amazing. PlayStation Vue will shut down on January the 30th after 4 years of existence. In a blog post, Sony blamed the highly competitive pay TV industry with expensive content and network deals and said it would rather focus on its core gaming business. Which is, I think, a great thing to do because there's actually a lot of fucking competition and a lot of good competition as well. But yeah, this is, I think, going to be the end of the video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope there was something in it that you have liked and that was interesting to you. But yeah, now I have to actually export fucking videos because it wasn't working back then. And I actually also have to... What do I have to do? I also have to... upload an episode, which is really fucked up because it could take some time, especially when it's in the evening, you know, when I know that a lot of people are going to be in the internet and going to be using the internet. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. But could you just be working right now? Would just be nice if everything is working. Like, I wish you the best health of happiness and also success, and I also hope that you're going to remind yourself when you're going to be remembered, because this is just nice, you know, to have a good legacy. You know, we can stimulate that, we can change that, we can change how people remember us by just being a nice person, then just being also remembered as a nice person, and we could just also be never mind. The problem there is that we're 7.7 billion people on this planet, and there's gonna be somebody that hates you. And it is what it is, it's rather about them than it is about you. And now I'm actually seeing my fucking screen. Amazing. 3 other questions that I hope that you're going to ask yourself are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? I hope these 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even some business ideas, since a lot of businesses started out with solving something that really pissed them off. And I'm also going to see you the next time, hopefully. Therefore, please subscribe to the podcast and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'm going to see you the next time.